Essay 2. This is Monday, May 4th, 2020 for science. So this week in science, we're going to be talking about layers of the Earth. Okay, so last week we talked about the different spheres of the Earth. We said that there are 4 spheres. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about the layers of the Earth. We're going to identify the layers of the Earth. We're going to recognize them, and we're going to understand and recall some characteristics of those layers of the Earth. Okay, so your Nearpod for today. Did you know that Earth is made up of layers? Okay, some of you might already know some of the layers of the Earth. Okay, if you talked about them last year, or you read about them, or you saw them on a TV show. Okay, so that's what your open-ended question is. Can you name any of the Earth's layers? Okay, so this is your previous knowledge or prior knowledge question. I want you to try your best. If you don't know any layers of the Earth, then you need to type, I don't know any. Okay, but if you do know one, I want you to try and name it. Let's get started. Okay, so they start with the innermost part of the Earth, okay, which is called the inner core, okay, and that's in the middle of the Earth. And then I gave you some slides to read. On the bottom here, which is what I want to show you, there is a button there. You can press play, and it will read it to you. Okay, so that's an option if you want it to be read to you. It says Earth's inner core is like a huge metal ball that's really, really hot. It's solid and made of iron and nickel. Okay, so remember the inner core of the Earth is the layer of the Earth that's made out of metal. Okay, and it's really hot. Okay, the next layer is called the outer core. Okay, again, you have the option to have this read to you. The outer core is made of iron, nickel, sulfur, and oxygen. So still metals, but then they have sulfur and oxygen, okay, which are gases. We know oxygen because we breathe oxygen. It's a liquid. It's hot, but not quite as hot as the inner core. Okay, the flowing outer core creates Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so that's an interesting little fact. Okay, the lower mantle. Okay, this layer is solid and is about 3,000 degrees Celsius, okay, which is still really, really hot. It's made of silicon, iron, oxygen, magnesium, and aluminum. Okay, so some more metals. How do you think something so hot can be a solid? So that's something to think about. Why is it so hot, yet it's solid? Okay, the upper mantle. Okay, the temperature here is only 1,400 degrees Celsius. That's still really, really hot. The layer of a mixture is a mixture of solid and liquid. We call it molten rock or magma. Okay, so when you think about volcanoes, you think about that melted rock that's inside a volcano. That's magma. So this is where your lava comes from, volcanoes. This part of the mantle is always moving. Magma is the stuff that forms volcanoes. Mountains and volcanoes are formed as direct results of this constantly moving mantle. Okay, so underneath the crust, which is where we live, there are plates. Okay, it looks like puzzle pieces, and they constantly move. Okay, sometimes they bang into each other. This is what causes earthquakes. Sometimes they rise up. That's what causes mountains. Okay, and finally the crust. This is the layer that we live on. This is where you live. Okay. So again, you can have this read to you. Crust is the thinnest layer of the Earth. This is where the Earth's water exists. Imagine the peel of an apple. That is the relative thickness on which you live if the Earth was an apple. Okay, so if you think about it, it's not very thick. okay? But it's amazing how it still is so thick to us, okay? The Earth's crust is really important. Can you think of some reasons why? Okay, so this is a really important question. Why do you think the layer that we live on is so important to us? Okay, we kind of talked about this when we talked about the spheres, right? So you can type in your question. Please do your best. Okay, if you can't think of reasons why, you don't need to answer the why question. You can just answer the what question or the how question. And then you're going to do a quiz. Did you know if you lived any closer to the hot center of the Earth, you would not be able to survive? If our Earth did not have water on its crust, you would not be able to survive. If our Earth did not have oxygen in its atmosphere, you would not be able to survive. Okay? So, Earth is really important to us. This is something that we need to know about. It's something that you need to be knowledgeable about because it's where you live. Okay? It's something that we need to protect and we need to treasure. Okay? It's something that we need to have for future generations. Okay? So this is why we're learning about the Earth and the parts of the Earth and why they're important and what they consist of. Okay? So that's your objective today. Let's review. So you're going to watch a little video, okay, about the layers of the Earth. Oops. Okay. And then you're going to do a fill-in activity. So you're going to answer the open-ended questions, you're going to do the quiz, and you're going to do the fill-in activity. Mantle, crust, magma, earth, volcanoes. Okay? I learned that the blank is made up of distinct layers that each have their own characteristics. Earth. We live on the blank, which is the Earth's thinnest layer, crust. Our magnetic fields are determined by the flowing core of the Earth. Blank is molten rock, magma, stuff that comes out of volcanoes, is part of the Earth's mantle. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so this is your activity for Monday, May 4th. Okay, your objective is to read about the layers of the Earth and to understand them and identify them and name some characteristics. Okay? All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.